Hi, I'm Don Trousdell, and this show is Children of the Universe, which combines art and science to tell a story. Each painting has been done in acrylic, oil, and watercolor to combine to make these images on 48-inch square canvases. And what this is audience for is young people or people that are young at heart. Each painting tells a story about the planet from a child's point of view who lives on that planet. In this case, you can see the children's story, and the most important things are the factoids that bring amazing new information that you might not have heard of. For instance, on Neptune's child, Diana, she's holding the trident, which is the sign of her father's rule over the oceans, because he's the god of the oceans and seas, and in her eyes you can see what influences her, the oceans and water. Now this planet, for instance, has 13 moons and 4 faint rings. The planet is 17 times more massive than Earth. So it's that kind of interesting facts that we're going to add to each painting as a child walks around. In this case, Diana is chasing Scooter, which is a cloud that's been there for a couple hundred years, and the dark spot has also been on this planet that goes back 250 years. The next planet we're going to talk about is the most interesting probably in this show. It's Saturn. This is Titan, Saturn's child, and our Saturday comes from the word Saturn. Now, Saturn's child loves to play with new toys. And every 3 years, he has a new toy that moves through the rings, and it's this huge blue marble. And guess what? This is Earth passing through the plane of Saturn's rings every few years. So you can see in this painting, in his eyes, he's looking back at this new toy, which is Earth. So what you have here is a story of science, yet artwork to tell a story. The next planet, which is real interesting, if Earth had a twin, it would be Venus. And it has no moons, but yet it's the brightest planet in the sky that we can see every morning. And most important, Venus' child is Cupid. And Cupid spends his days chasing around these cloud formations. And in this case, he's chasing the elusive target of love. So the next planet that we're going to look at, this guy has a lot of problems because he lives closest to the sun, and his temperatures vary from 752 degrees above and 238 degrees below, which forms at night some ice crystals for him, which helps refresh him in his very hostile planet attitude, which has been pockmarked over millions of years by millions of meteors. The next planet isn't a planet, it's a star, and it's our most famous star. And to give you an idea how the sun is formed, this hard-working child attends the atomic furnace on its giant shining ball and holds the disk that brings life back to us. And here's a fact that might shock you. The sun is big enough to hold 1 million Earths. The sun's surface temperature is 10,000 degrees. And in the center is 27 million degrees. It says turning into hydrogen. Now here's a fact. I don't know if we could analyze this, but this fact is the most important. This is our solar system. It's in a vase like a group of plants, and the vase represents the Milky Way, and that red dot in the vase is this solar system, and there are billions of Milky Ways in our universe, which makes us rather insignificant. The next stories we have to talk about here in the show is our story. This is Luna, the moon child. Her home is the second brightest object in Earth's sky. She's looking back at Earth, and she's rather happy because she's had a lot of visitors. It's the only extraterrestrial body visited by humans in the first landing of the U.S. Apollo mission in 1969. But she also has the man in the moon to keep her company. And she looks back at Earth rather concerned about what might be happening here. The next planet is the most important planet to all of us, and that is Earth. It's the only planet whose name does not come from Greek or Roman mythology, but Old English and Dramatic languages. And here we have Gaia, Earth's child, tending her greenhouse planet, which makes us really special because we have 500 kilometers of atmosphere combined with 71% water, and when you mix that together with the sun, you have what we call life. And as you can see, it's the most active planet for weather, from afternoon storms to hurricanes and tornadoes. It is a planet always in flux, and yet it's a planet that's very fragile. It has live volcanoes, lush forests, storms, seasons, fantastic color, and it has life. The next planet is one that has a bad reputation. The Romans first saw it as the red planet because they thought it looked like blood. They called it the planet of war. And here we see Romulus, Mars' child, holding a wooden sword to show that he's still a little guy of war and devilment. But what he has found on his planet is rather interesting. The largest volcano in the solar system, huge dust storms that carry red dust over his planet, and most important, he found a new crater with a smile on it, and you can see it in his eyes what he's looking at, and that encounters the happy face crater smiling back at him, proving that Mars isn't a menacing planet of war and green people after all. The next guy is a very sad story. He's very unhappy. He's a guy that is the son of Pluto, the god of the underworld, and he lives on this frozen ball, and he's just found some bad news that his planet has been demoted to an ice dwarf and is no longer officially a planet. He lives in the middle of the Kuiper belt, which you see running around him, which is the birthplace of many of our comets. But the next one is really the biggest star of all. It's Jupiter. Jupiter's named for the king of Roman gods. It has 4 major moons. It has 14 times stronger magnetic field than Earth. And here you see Fortuna, Jupiter's child, sucking in the different moons in devilment. It has a huge red eye on the planet that is 4 times the size of Earth. And the last guy has got a tough job. Now, as Americans, we usually call this planet Uranus, when in actuality it's pronounced Uranus. And his tough job is that his planet is off its axis and wobbles like a broken wagon wheel, and he sees stars all the time because he's holding on for dear life. I hope you enjoyed our trip around our solar system, and I hope that the young people reading these factoids and stories about the children of the universe bring some knowledge to them while also enjoying the art.